You may know Maitland Ward from shows like General Hospital or Boy Meets World, where she played Rachel McGuire on that hit Disney show. But after Boy Meets World, she made a transition to adult entertainment. Maitland Ward has a book about the experience. It's called My Escape from Hollywood. It's unapologetic, unfiltered, and unashamed. And Maitland Ward is joining me now on the Scott Sand Show.
Hey.
Okay, this is me trying my best not to sound nervous and dorky with you.
Oh, I love nervous and dorky, though, because that's what I am.
Congratulations on the book coming out in paperback, My Escape from Hollywood.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's really, it's really the story of my journey that is like no other. Literally, people say, like, you know, how is your story different? I'm like, nobody else has my story. I promise you.
I'll be honest, and this is embarrassing. I haven't read the book yet, but I've certainly watched a lot of your work, and I'm a big fan.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I love hearing that. I love hearing it. You do not be embarrassed or anything about that. I take that with pride.
So, I mean, what is it? Tell me your journey. How do you wind up from being one of the biggest stars of teen comedy to doing adult movies today? How did you make that transition and why?
You know, people hear, oh, my gosh, Boy Meets World star is a porn star now, and they think it happened overnight, and it was so not the truth. It's the opposite of that. I was really, it came from the fact that I was typecast as being the star of Boy Meets World, star on Boy Meets World, and on other things that I had done. Like I was on the soap opera The Bold and the Beautiful. I was in White Chicks, but very much, you know, the same kind of characters that I played. And I was told by Hollywood I can't play anything different, and I wasn't getting any roles even playing that type because they wanted, you know, me just to be in that box of that time period and everything. So I got really frustrated because I wanted to play more dramatic roles. I wanted to, you know, push the boundaries. I wanted to explore myself as an actress and as a human, and I wasn't allowed to do that. And I really had to step away from Hollywood and find myself. And I really started exploring who I was and my sexuality that I had repressed for so long, just because, you know, because of Hollywood, but also because I grew up in as a very good girl, and I wanted to fulfill that thing in my life for my family and for my friends, and I thought that's who I had to be, but I found that, you know, I was discovering something new about myself. So along the way, I discovered that I was very much an exhibitionist, so I liked that part of it. I loved cosplay, so I found, you know, a career move that way where I was able to use my sexy cosplay as a method of branding myself and starting a business. And from there, it snowballed. I started really because I was kicked off of social media a lot for having sexy cosplay pictures up and bikini shots and stuff. They would say, oh, they're too sexy. It was ridiculous. I wasn't doing anything with pictures.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as too sexy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But I started selling content for my fans, and I thought, oh, you know, maybe I'll get a little money just to put into my photo shoots and stuff. And so I started a Patreon account just to see, you know, whatever. At least I'd have freedom to do, like, adult-type pictures, and all of a sudden, overnight, I was the #1 adult creator on Patreon. It was, you know, it was against everything I was told. I was told in Hollywood, you can't be sexy if you're over 25. You can't, you know, do these kind of roles. You can't be this kind of, you know, outspoken exhibitionist kind of person because you won't make any money at it. And then I was all of a sudden the #1 creator on Patreon like that. So, and then it snowballed from there. And I proved everybody wrong. And then it was like over the next like year and a half before I even did any professional porn film, I was like exploring my stuff there. I was, you know, saying, hey, you know what? I want to try certain things that are pornographic. I took baby steps, and I started discovering that I really liked it, and I was really good at it. Like, it's kind of like an athlete discovering, you know, I'm really good at this sport that I love, but I'm actually could really compete in a big way at it.
Yeah, you seem pretty good at it. Just as a casual observer, yeah,
you know, that's good. I like that you.
You seem pretty good.
And you know what? I think people think that somebody, and even people in porn, thought somebody coming from, you know, acting and Disney and stuff is going to be very timid and hold back. But I am not. I do everything.
We're talking to Maitland Ward here on the Scott Sand Show. My Escape from Hollywood is her book. It's out in paperback now. You know, here's the strange thing, Maitland, and I've been following you on social media as well. Maybe you'll follow me back at Scott Sands Media. The thing is,
that's great. Yeah,
I'm politically, you know, I'm a Republican, politically conservative, maybe a little socially liberal, and sex work has been so stigmatized by the right for so long. But to me, I think it's one of the canaries in the coal mine when it comes to free speech. And really, I think there really should be a destigmatization of what you and so many others on OnlyFans or X-rated websites are doing for a living. At the end of the day, if you're doing it voluntarily, there shouldn't be anything wrong with it. Yeah,
and it's interesting because it's not just the right that is against, you know, sex work or that. I feel like it's the only issue that both sides, both extreme sides, agree on.
Right. It's so weird.
Because they like you get extreme. The extreme liberal side will say, "Oh, it's oppressive to women," and then you know the other ultra right, you know, Christian side is saying, "Oh, porn is wrong," and all this stuff. So that's the only thing that they agree on to come together on to try to, you know, outlaw porn, so to speak. But they never really want to outlaw it because they all use it, but for their own purposes.
Right.
But they don't want women. They don't want performers, especially women, to make money off of it and to be ultra successful at it.
And it's part of the repression of women.
It is free speech.
It's part of the repression of women,
because they want them to be. They want them to be taboo, and like they want to keep it like down. They want to keep women down in it, but they still want to have it. So it's interesting.
Maitland Ward, My Escape from Hollywood. It's available on paperback now. Maitland, the other thing, before we're out of time, you talk about escaping Hollywood. I mean, that's the new title of the book. As a star on shows like Boy Meets World, at your age, as attractive as you were as a young woman, and obviously still are today, I mean, we hear so many stories out of Hollywood about the sexual exploitation of teens and how prevalent that is. I think I've heard you tell stories about experiencing some of that as well when you were just doing TV.
Yeah, it's interesting, and especially coming from that late 90s, early 2000s time in mainstream Hollywood, especially being a Disney kid and, you know, Nickelodeon kids experienced it, of course. It was a very weird time, especially for women, because we were supposed to be these sexy like creatures, but also extraordinarily virginal. And if you had, you know, so you were supposed to please the audience and the male gaze out there, but then you were also supposed to maintain this, you know, virginal status. So it was very confusing and conflicting. Like, you know, I had to try on a bunch of lingerie multiple times for higher Disney execs, and at the time, I didn't realize this was like an odd situation for a younger woman to have to go try lingerie on, because she had to, of course, on the show be this sexualized kind of person by wearing lingerie on the show, and to teach the boys a lesson by saying they shouldn't be looking at her lingerie. It was all these like weird sexual undertones, but at the time I didn't think that was a weird thing to do, to go try lingerie on for groups of men. My main thought back then was, do I look sexy enough? Am I cute enough? Are they going to like me enough? So when I wrote the book, I was really looking back on all of that and saying, oh my God, these situations were so bad. They were like so toxic and stuff in that environment, but at the time we were all just trying to gain approval from these higher ups, and we were all just innocent kids, really. I mean, we were young people that were just trying to make our way in the business, and we were on these, I guess, squeaky clean kind of shows, but underneath it all, it wasn't as squeaky clean as people thought, and a lot of people are saying that now.
And the stories are coming out, and now you're able to do what you want on your own terms.
Yeah.
Maitland Ward.
And I've never tried on lingerie for producers in porn, I can say that. Only for like wardrobe right before we go on, but like not like that.
My Escape from Hollywood. It's available in paperback now, and follow Maitland Ward on all the social platforms like I'm doing. Hopefully you'll follow me back. Maitland Ward, great to have you on. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Oh, so nice to talk to you. Thank you so much.